Recording going. There we go. I will just say welcome to One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living's online Sunday service. And I welcome Jesse Powers, our fabulous friend and talented musician, to kick us off here.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day. What makes a beautiful day beautiful? Well, it's the declaration that it is so in our hearts and in our minds, and anything that happens beyond that out in the world, we just get to call it beautiful. So, let's take that affirmation that it's a beautiful day into our hearts right now and celebrate. I wake up early and I see the sun. I don't know how it does it every day. It rises up and then it falls again, born only to die away. Look in the mirror and I see myself. I don't know how I do it every day. Standing on this big blue rock, not knowing what I'm doing here, still believing there's a reason, keep on keeping on my way. Each time I open my eyes, that's when I get to decide how I am gonna show up and show out in this life. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Sing it with me if you want. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Let's sing it some more. Ooh. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Everybody get up. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Look at the clock, it's running day and night. Got no control in those hands. A little soldier just marching through time. I'm so glad I am not a clock, I am alive and I can choose to dance. Each time I open my eyes, that's when I get to decide how I am gonna show up and show out in this life. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Declare it in your heart. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Let's do that 2 more times. Ready? Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Yes, it is. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. All right, we're gonna get grateful. Get up, get up, get up, and be grateful. I'm up. Say I'm up, and I'm thankful. Get up, get up, get up, and be grateful. Say I'm up, and I'm thankful. Get up, get up, get up, and be grateful. I'm up, I am up, and I am thankful. Get up, get up, get up, and be grateful. I'm up, and I'm ready to play. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Everybody get up. Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful day. Everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day.
Whoa, you sing it, girl. That's amazing. Oh, I just love that. Thank you so much for that kickoff. Boy, I rolled my socks up and down. I'm surely awake now. So I would like to invite our fabulous Practitioner of the day, Jean Pirkl, to kick us off with our opening prayer. Good morning, Jean.
Hey, good morning. It's good to see everybody. Jesse, you are incredible. I am so thankful that you share your gift with us. It's such a blessing. It really, really is. So thank you for that. And leaning into that beautiful day, I also lean in and breathe in to the truth that there is one divine essence, which is the creator and the created of everything, and it is good and it is always present. It is in this truth that I relax into and I receive the love, the connectivity, and the joy that is here now and always. This time we have together is divinely guided by the one intelligent mind of God. In this sacred time, we are available to receive and experience the goodness, the greatness that life is. We are on a cosmic adventure together, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that. And together we say, and so it is. So today's topic is, I think the entire month is curiosity. And what I decided to do this last week was kind of take that on as kind of an experiment, because I recognize that as going through life, looking back actually, as I think Michelle pointed out, that her son was one of the most curious individuals as a child that she had ever encountered. And looking back at that, I think we kind of come into the world with that that sense of just kind of finding our way through our senses and being very inquisitive, and it creates a sense of aliveness within us to kind of look at things as if we've never seen them before, or we don't really know them. We don't have an intimate relationship, a connection with them. And so it's through that sense of exploration. And anyway, so I invite you to kind of take a week and use it as an experiment to look differently at the things, the course of your routines, with kind of a level of curiosity. So what I realized is that I kind of have had acquired some stuff on the lenses of my perception that through the natural course of kind of through the social construct of, I think that we can often be discouraged from being curious and taking on a kind of an attitude that we're supposed to know certain things, and then that becomes kind of a fixed concept, like this is just the way it is. The truth is that there's nothing fixed about that. So it's through looking through a lens of being curious, leaning into, and just looking at the layers of what really is there and what can be there. And it's the exploration of that. Just it has a connection of joy, and it's really wonderful. So I'm really glad that we're talking about curiosity. So yay. You have a February affirmation. Can't believe it's the last week of February. Holy smokes. Okay. Together, let's read the affirmation here. By some mystic presence, I was told to live and to love, to laugh and be glad. I was told to be still and know of the one mighty power in and through all. I was told to let the power work through me and in me. I believed that voice and I received my good. By Ernest Holmes.
Thank you so much, Jean. I do want to let everybody know that the everyday readings of the Science of Mind, that was Jean's baby. I want to express my gratitude for that, and I hope that you're following along. They're on she sends them out on the Constant Contact every day, and then you can always find it on our YouTube channel as well. But it's reading Science of Mind in 1 year, which is wonderful. So now that I've expressed my gratitude to her, I want to invite Jessie to kick us off with another song.
All right. Everybody take a nice deep breath with me. I love Sundays because it's a time where all of us are gathering at the same time to remember that power that's in us and to consciously fill ourselves and the world with love. So just breathe through this, and if you want to sing along, it'll be easy to learn. Here we go. I want to know who I am. I want to know who I am. I want to know who I am. And let it be shown who I am. Holy light, fill my life. Fill me with light. 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 I want to know who I am more than anything. I want to know who I am. All I want to know exactly who I am. Exactly who I am. I want to know who I am. So fill me with light. Fill me with light. Fill me with light. Ooh, fill me with light. 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 Holy light, fill my life. Holy light, fill me with light.
Oh, let's just take a deep breath in and just sit in this sacred moment that Jesse's created here for us. That was so beautiful. That took me deep. Thank you so much for that, Jesse. That's gorgeous. Did you write that song, sweetheart? Oh, you're incredible. Well, all right. Let me find my voice. And I'll say good morning again to the wonderful people of One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living. And I just want to say that if you're here in real time on Zoom or watching the Facebook live stream, or the replay of the service, I'm just grateful that you're connecting with us in whatever way works for you. Just grateful that you're touching us. We're touching you. So I did want to mention that this past Thursday, I began a replay of the 40 Days of Gratitude email program that I did a couple of years ago. And I just hope you're receiving the emails. And I know that a lot of people really valued it a couple of years ago. So I thought I'd do it again during this Christian season of Lent, you know, just as a way of connecting with what it is that is wonderful in our lives. So let me know if you're not on the email list, and I'll get you on it. Let me just say that I am so incredibly grateful for all of you, every single one of you, whether you're here this morning, a part of our community or not. I'm just grateful. So as Jean mentioned, you know, this morning we're kind of finishing up our month-long exploration of what I think are the very intriguing and fascinating characteristics of curiosity. You know, after many years of practicing this science of mind philosophy, you know, I've truly come to believe that it's through the practice of the qualities of the divine, you know, that there's so many: gratitude, wholeness, vitality, friendship, compassion, peace, love, and on and on and on. It's to practice these qualities that we actually transform our lives. You know, our understanding of spiritual truth opens the door for us, but it's our practice that moves into the experience of divine good. You know, and we begin by learning and understanding spiritual principle, and then we have to put them into action, into practice. We begin by consciously understanding, and then practice becomes our advanced course. You know, but and as we do that, it's always important to step back, ground ourselves in the fundamentals from time to time, just like anything else in life. And we can use the characteristics of curiosity to inspire us to look more deeply into what's happening in our lives. You know, I love that song because it made me curious about who I am right now. And that's what curiosity does for us. It invites us to look deeply into what's going on right now, and to find the best ways for us personally to explore and to live the divine presence aloud in our life. That is part of our monthly theme, living curiosity out loud. So I ran across this really interesting metaphor for living a curious life, if you will, and so it kind of explains, I think, in a unique way, how curiosity can support us in being present to the moment that we're in. So the story is that imagine that you're imprisoned in a huge room, and on every wall there are doors. The whole room is just filled with doors, and each door promises a way out of the room. There are 1,000 doors in this big, huge room, and each door has some sort of writing on it. Some doors say they'll fix our problems, and some promise that if we ignore them or understand them or deny them or run away from them, that we'll be able to get out of the room. So not knowing what else to do, we start trying them all. And after a while, we've tried 999 doors. And each time the door is either locked, or we open it and there's a big wall in the way, or we walk through it and we find ourselves right back in the same room. Now we've tried the 999 doors, so there's only one left, and it's a very small door at the bottom of the room in the corner, a very dark corner. So we go over and we crouch down in front of it, and we see the word "here," H-E-R-E, written on it, and our curiosity is piqued. But the door is way too small to get through, and our minds begin to doubt if we'll ever be able to get through it. But we've tried everything else. So we decide, okay, we're going to try. And suddenly an amazing thing happens. The more curious we are about this door, the more we become open to the possibilities that it might present, the more interested and present we become with it, the larger the door becomes. And we don't even have to walk through the door because suddenly the walls of the room begin to dissolve until the room with 1,000 doors is completely gone. And we find ourselves standing in this wide open field of possibility where we feel completely connected to life again. The room with 1,000 doors was only kept in place by our belief in it. I'll say that again. The room with 1,000 doors was only kept in place by our belief in it. So I ran across this beautiful quote that I'm going to share with you. It's from, I've used her stuff before. It's a quote from What's in the Way is the Way by Mary O'Malley. And this is a beautiful book. And I think in this one quote, she brilliantly explains this phenomenon. I actually made a little video of it because I thought it was important to even share it with you so you can see it. Get it. Here it is. So here's her quote. And I really thought about you, Jean, when I was when you were talking, because this brilliantly, I think, talks about what you were expressing in your opening remarks. Curiosity is the art of bringing your attention and your immediate experience together. How cool is that? Curiosity is the art of bringing your attention and your immediate experience together. As your attention becomes engaged with what is happening right now, you will discover that there is a whole lot going on around you that you never noticed. It is life. And when you are curious, you make direct contact with it. Oh, I love that. Bringing our attention into our immediate experience. Imagine that. In other words, it's as Ram Dass invited us to do so many years ago, to be here now. He invited us to be curious about what's going on right now, you know, where our attention and the present moment come together. When the present moment gets our full attention, this is where we're empowered. Think of the creative moment. We all have moments, I think, when we feel really present and really connected. And we all have moments when we've slipped back into those old stories, you know, those old patterns of thinking and feeling. And, you know, it's been my experience that life is never quite as bad or even quite as good as the stories that I tell myself about it. You know, and it's tempting to move into our old pattern of trying to fix what is, or ignore it, or understand it, or run away from it. To not pay full attention to what is going on right in front of us at this moment. But curiosity invites us to be present with whatever is right now, whatever's right in front of us. And I know that whatever is right in front of me is leading me to a greater good, no matter how it looks. You know, I went through a very challenging situation this past week, and a dear friend of mine, she knows who she is, invited me to stop trying to fix it and to just be present with it. And slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. And I'm not saying that it was all rainbows and Care Bears, it was not. But I was empowered to see and experience it differently, and it made all the difference. It made a huge difference. You know, so if you're anything like me, you were probably taught to identify what is wrong in your life, to try and make it different. You know, we've learned how to resist what is, especially if it's uncomfortable. You know, we've learned to evaluate and judge and try to control and manipulate the situations that pop up in our life. The truth is that the more we resist and struggle and try to fix whatever's in front of us from the outside in, the more powerless we feel and the less effective we are. Sure, we may be able to move some things around, but not create real change. You know, I always go back to this amazing experience I had several years ago. I know I've shared it with you before. When I was at the airport, and this was way before COVID. But airports always seem to be a real good environment for learning how not to resist what we obviously can't change. So the situation was that my flight had been canceled, but I needed to get back home, back in Grants Pass, because I was speaking at the Sunday service the next day. And I tried rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic in every possible way that I could think of, but I couldn't solve the problem. So I finally just stopped. I stopped resisting and I just surrendered to the moment. I remember sitting down on the bench and going, okay, Spirit, I don't know what to do. I went inward, we're all powerless. And I audibly heard the word Southwest. So I went to the Southwest ticket counter and I got a flight. And there were a few more interesting twists and turns in the story, a few more moments when I got the opportunity to practice surrender again. I lost my purse and it got returned to me. The plane was just late enough for me to get to the gate, things like that. But I did get home in time to speak at the Sunday service. But here's the thing, nothing fell into place until I stopped resisting what was, until I just let go and surrendered. So peace and well-being, they don't come from trying to constantly fix problems. The truth is, trying to fix anything is kind of like trying to change the past. Time only flows in one direction. The only thing we're empowered to do is to change our experience of the past by seeing it differently in the present moment, and then moving into creating something new. Einstein's reportedly, I don't really know that he did, said you can't solve a problem from the same consciousness that created it. You have to learn how to see the world anew. You have to move into possibility, in other words. You have to stop trying to open doors that lead to nowhere. And let curiosity invite us to be here now, in the present moment, in the world of possibility. Now, I'm not saying that we have to stay in discomfort and kind of furnish that rut that we're in, but we don't have to struggle to change it either. When we surrender to what's right in front of us, that's when we're in the power. That is where we open the door to the infinite mind. An infinite mind can see the way forward much better than we can. It's certainly better than I can. So to put it another way, kind of put it in science of mind speak, curiosity hones our ability to relate to, not to relate to our experience. No, let's see. Let me say that again. It hones our ability to relate to our present experience rather than from it. So we don't want to create more of what we're in, move from our experience. We want to relate to it. We want to be in it, experience it, and move through it. Kind of get the wisdom out of it, if you will. We can let curiosity draw us into the present moment. And once we get there, it's important to remember that in the present moment, there's nothing to be ashamed of and there's nothing to be afraid of. We all grew up in the environment of trying to fix things in the world around us. We all grew up and kind of absorbed the environment of the adult world around us. And no matter how loving our parents were, and Jean was speaking to this earlier, no matter how many well-meaning and loving family members and teachers we encountered, we all grew up in a world that was sometimes challenging to make sense of. And one of the most common views that I hear from people in my line of work is that they felt responsible for the things that have gone wrong in their life, for the things that didn't go well. And I really think that that's why the self-blame and unworthiness is at such epidemic levels in our culture. But as adults, we're empowered to understand more clearly and to change old beliefs, even the ones that are unconscious. And we've talked a lot about how we do that. I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about it in the future. Well, you can kind of look at it this way. Most of us grew up in an environment where people spoke English. Maybe some of us didn't, but whatever language was spoken around you when you were growing up, that's the language you learned. And so if you spoke English, people spoke English, you learn English. If you grew up in France, you spoke French. Japan, you spoke Japanese. But that doesn't mean as adults we can't learn to speak a new language. We can. It's not always easy to create those new neural pathways, as I talked about last week, but we're empowered to do it. We have the tools. I'm always drawn to that line in The Science of Mind. Ernst was so brilliant, where he reminds us that in the inner sanctuary of our own nature, hidden perhaps from objective gaze, I like that, hidden, so we don't always see it, nestles the seed perfection. We are, as the Bible tells us, made in the image and likeness of God. That doesn't mean we look like God. It means that we share its nature. And as we embody Spirit's wholeness, love, and perfection, we experience those qualities in our life, and we allow that divine presence to build our belief, to build our trust and our faith in it. And the more curious we become about the nature of our own being, such a perfect song, Jesse, it's exactly what you were talking about, the less afraid we are of the things that the world may bring our way, and the more empowered we feel to engage and just be present with them, because we know that whatever shows up in our lives has something to offer us. As an example, I've noticed that the more I do my affirmative prayer for prosperity to flow into my life as through channels of money, the more the things that are in the way of that expression pop up, old tired beliefs and fears about money. And I know that I'm being called to learn a new language, the language of prosperity, which is grounded in the truth, the infinite nature of Spirit. And I can learn that language because it's my nature as well. Just have to tap into it. And yeah, it takes courage to face and embrace what life is right now, especially if it's uncomfortable or difficult or challenging. But it is what brings us back to life. We have to be able to feel what we're feeling right now, bring it out into the light, into the truth of God that's already here. And to me, it feels comforting to know that I'm alone, that there's a power of life moving through me, and that it's safe to let what has been out, kind of like a closed door that I can open up and let the stuck energy flow through me again, and just to be able to feel everything, to feel and to be alive right now. Feel everything. Another interesting thing about curiosity is that God, Spirit, the divine presence, whatever we call it, isn't curious. The nature of Spirit is curiosity. It's kind of like forgiveness. I hear people say, oh, God will forgive us. Well, God isn't human. God doesn't know that there's anything to forgive. So forgiveness is not a quality of God. God just lives in the truth. In God, there's nothing to forgive. Kind of a funny story. It reminded me when I was putting this talk together a few years ago when we lived in Oregon. Jim, my husband's daughter, and her family came to visit us. And they're a deeply devout Christian family. And Willie, who was about 5 at the time, wore his sister's shoes out to go tramping around in the woods. We lived in the woods, and we had 2 big dogs. So Willie put on his sister's shoes and he went out to play in the woods. And when he came back, he had dog poop all over the shoes. He had stepped in dog poop. And so he took them off and he stashed them in the wood bin. He didn't want anybody to find them. My husband, Jim, found them and he confronted Willie about it. And Willie's response was, oh, well, Jesus will forgive me, because he had been taught that it was up to God or Jesus to forgive our sins and our mistakes. And the funny line, my husband said to Willie, well, Jesus might forgive you, but I don't know about your sister. It was pretty funny. So the point is, Jesus, God, Spirit, whatever name you use, doesn't forgive. Forgiveness is a human process. And it is with forgiveness that we let go of the old stuff. And it is with curiosity that we move into the present moment and are able to look at what's going on and what has come on, and to let go of our past errors and our past misbeliefs, and to move into the truth and the possibility that is available to us in the present moment where God's Spirit is. Last week I said several times how incredibly amazing the human body is, and that it is so well adapted to be the perfect vehicle for humans to express God. It's magnificent. And our bodies are just so full of wisdom. They tell us exactly what we're experiencing. You know, often even before our minds figure it out, we just have to pay attention. Our body picks up on the vibes that we're in, and it responds immediately. Have you ever walked into a situation and immediately felt something was off? You know, where you just felt like maybe you shouldn't be there, or something is making you feel uncomfortable. You know, and I see these as opportunities to ask ourselves, why do I feel this way? What do I believe that is making the situation uncomfortable for me? Or how can I shift? And what quality of God can I bring to the party here? Our bodies are such a gift. And I've come to believe that true transformation for us as human beings is to make what is unconscious in us conscious, so that we can deal with it. And our bodies do that for us. They're these amazing vehicles. And the more we watch our experience with curiosity, you know, the more we discover how to kind of unhook ourselves from the old stories and the old languages that we've learned. You know, the old stuff like, I'm not doing it right, or I'm not lovable enough, or I'm alone. None of these are true. Remember, nestled within you, perhaps out of your gaze, is the seed perfection. And we can connect with that seed perfection whenever we desire. Just takes a moment, a little bit of attention for us to dive right into the heart of that loving perfection within us. So, you know, I just want to leave today by resharing that beautiful quote from Mary O'Malley, because I just think it perfectly embodies what we've been all about this month, and what the exploration of curiosity really is for us. So let's just let her have the last word. Curiosity is the art of bringing your attention and your immediate experience together. Your attention and your immediate experience. As your attention becomes engaged with what is happening right now, you will discover that there is a whole lot going on around you that you never noticed. It is life. And when you are curious, you make direct contact with it. How perfect is that? So let's just move right into some prayer. So I know that all there is God. I know that all there is the divine presence, life. That infinite mind that moves in and through and as everything. That's what we know. And I know that each and every one of us lives within that energy, that life, that presence. We all live, move, and have our being within it. And so I speak my word for and about each and every person that is present here on this call, and each and every person that is known, that there is a shift. There is a movement, a shift in consciousness that draws us into a greater experience and expression. The curiosity draws us into this moment when we experience the divine presence in and through and around us, and expresses in our lives in new and amazing ways that we've never even thought of before. So I just sit in this presence, I sit in this knowing, I sit in this truth, and I just feel grateful. Just feel a sense of deep thanksgiving for what is and what in this present moment we are empowered to create. So for this and so much more, I simply say thank you, and I allow it to be. And together we say, and so it is. And so it is. All right. Well. Now I see my son joined us. Hello, Justin. And I just want to invite, I think, is it you, Lisa?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to invite you to do our time of conscious giving.
Yes, yes. I think that many of you know, but not all of you perhaps, that a way of giving to our center is through Venmo, under One Heart, One Mind. And at the OHOM Center, okay. And then there is also the possibility of sending a check instead to Jim Massipus, and and I wanted to remind people that it's for one thing, I like the idea of giving something to the place that feeds you spiritually. And that also is a part of the whole practice of the fact that the more you give, the more you receive. That doesn't always necessarily mean money, but that's the principle, that it's a circular thing, and that your giving is always responded to in some way. And the other thing, that one of the things that we do that I think it's always good to remind people of, and I know that Yvonne loves it particularly, is the unexpected income. It's looking at your unexpected income, the things that surprise you, like a miscellaneous gift that comes in the mail, or somebody buys you dinner, or something out of the blue, or even when you find having a lot of reduction in your grocery bill because of things that are on sale. Anyway, that's a great way to give from a perspective of fun, because it's kind of like a fun game. So that's it. We're going to have the.
Sorry, yeah, I'm trying to get it. Sorry.
We like to bless the giving.
Yeah, let me get it up here. Hang on a second. For some reason, it's not. It usually just pops right up after that. It's not cooperating. I get it. Of course, every other. There we go. Now I got it. Thank you for your patience. There we go. There you go.
Why don't we say it together? Everything flows from the nature of God's good. We receive from this flow. We give from this flow. We give in gratitude and in love. We have faith in the infinite giving nature of spirit. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
And I bet that Yvonne has some announcements for us. Hi, Yvonne.
Hello. And I just wanted to take a second to say hi to Melissa, because we haven't seen her for a long time, and there she is. So hi and thank you. Let's see, Monday evening prayer group is from 6 to 6:20. And we'd love you to join us as we silently pray for, you can pray for yourself, for each other, for one heart, one mind. And it's really a wonderful way to connect with other people. So Tuesday evening is our spiritual learning from 6 to 7, our circle. And on Tuesday, the learning circle will begin a review of Pam Grout's book, E², which is available on Amazon. And also Reverend Michelle has sent the reading assignment for this week it's online. And this book is incredible. I'm really having fun with it. Michelle warned us that it was fun, but what I really like and what I would say about it is that it's very modern writing. So it's not one you'll go to sleep with. It's really good. And we will be exploring Pam's 9 do-it-yourself energy experiments to prove your thoughts create your reality, which really fits with today's talk, I think. Pretty cool. Also, if it ever seems that you do not have the correct ID and password on your, when you're trying to get into one of our activities, just go to the newsletter, because it's always on the newsletter for whatever you need. And that means you can't get rid of your newsletter until the next week.
And just an aside, I'm sorry, Yvonne, to interrupt, but I don't change. Those links are the same. Every week, the Monday link is the same. Every week, the Tuesday link is the same. Every week, the Sunday link is the same. They don't change. And if they do change, I'll let you know.
And another thing, something I do, you'll love this, you guys, it's so organized. I have a little list and it's long, of things that I use all the time. So I can, if I did delete my my newsletter, which I do once in a while, and then I have to call somebody and say, can you send it to me? But anyway, I have this, and that's a really easy thing. So that's just a suggestion.
And Jean is reminding us that they're also on the website if you can't find your e-newsletter.
Yeah, so there we go. There's lots, but it, you know, when you're under the gun and you've looked at your watch and it's 3 minutes or 3 seconds until we start, then you get nervous and you forget about all that stuff. So that's why I'm reminding you. Wednesday, excuse me, this Wednesday, March 1st, there will be a hybrid memorial service for Reverend Leslie. And the details and where to go and all of that is online in the newsletter. So see how important the newsletter is? Reminders, don't forget about paying attention to and expecting unexpected income. And guess what? I got $30 at bingo this week.
That's great.
It was so fun because it was kind of a funny, we had a funny day of it. But so when I got my $30, I was so happy, and I said, it's better to be able to tithe my $3 than the what was it, 2.5 cents from last week when I found the quarter. I am having fun with that. And then I had a note here to remind you about the daily Science of Mind readings, but Michelle already did that. So, and the one other thing that we have now is a box, a post office box, and I put the address on the chat. So it's like the first thing that's on there, so you can have that. And I think that's everything I have.
Well, thank you very much. I think you covered it quite nicely.
Great.
Thank you. Wonderful. So let's have Lisa, if you want to do the benediction, and then we'll have Jessie take us out with her closing song. You're still muted, honey.
It's always wise to unmute when you want anyone to hear you. So anyway, why don't we join together, take a nice breath, and just feel the gratitude for this wonderful service that began with Jessie's great fun song, and then that lovely, lovely meditative song, and blessings to Reverend Michelle for her talk and reminding us of how important it is to be here now and to pay attention, to allow the curiosity about what is happening in this very moment to move you forward and inward and onward in your own personal course of seeking the answer to who am I and where am I going. And so I'm so grateful for this service and this community, and that each and every person who is online today and who is listening to this service today or extend on YouTube later. At any rate, I have grateful thankings for the whole experience. And so I release my word into the law and ask you to join me in saying, and so it is.
Beautiful. And you coined a new word, thankings. That's good.
I did what?
You coined a new word, thankings. I like that. It's a good one. Hey, Jessie.
All right, we're gonna go out there and be here and be now. This is another breathing song, so I'll send you away with a lullaby into your afternoon. There in the center of my soul, I can feel you all around me, something holy and untold, but I hear it perfectly. Somehow in the deepness of now, can see I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. Here and now I can see I was made perfectly. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. Beyond books and words and songs, in the face of all my longing, leaving certainty behind, I take one step and you come running. It's clear in the sweetness of here, I can see I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. Here and now I can see I was made perfectly. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. Love, love, flow like water. Love, love, move in me. Oh, love, love, flow like water. Love, love, move in me. Oh, love, love, flow like water. Love, love, move in me. Love, love, flow like water. Love, love, move in me. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. Here and now I can see I was made perfectly. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. You have the best music. You know, if you should put your, I know you've done this before, if you want to put your website in the chat so people can connect with you.
Sure, I'll do that. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Pretty simple. JustinPowersMusic.com. I'd like to listen to your music other days aside from Sundays. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Jesse. Wow, this has been a wonderful service. I'm so glad everybody was online. Anybody have anything you want to talk about? We'll wait. We'll just end our service today with the